Hi, and welcome back to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we talk about all things Marvel Crisis Protocol and review a different character every week. I am your host once again, Jared.
I'm Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Brandon.
And this is going to be the Logan episode. So we recently got his card spoiled, but before we get into any of that, how are you guys doing?
I'm super tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the rest of you? How the rest of you doing? How's the rest of you? How are the rest of you doing? You doing all right, Brandon?
Yeah, man, doing good. It's been a weirdly productive week, so can't really complain.
That's good. What about you, Brad? You all right?
Well, Fred may have had a rough day, but I've had a rough couple months, so I'm doing okay though.
Look at him. Look at him.
Well, gotta be.
You
gotta
activated
be
his you activated his trump card, Fred. Look at you.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
He's like, oh, you think you've had a bad day? Let me tell you about
Listen.
mine. Let me tell you about my
Today was a
month.
bad day.
I also realized immediately after I did it that I jumped the gun with my name. Sorry, Brad.
No, it's all right. I forgot that we had an order for that. And I
Yeah, we
forgot
did.
it was a
I did
thing.
it early.
It's my fault because I took a week off. Speaking of that, thank you very much, Fred, for stepping in and hosting.
Not a
1
problem.
week off, or did you take 2 weeks off?
He took a week off, and then he hosted for a week, and then he took a week off.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was out last week because I have friends that visit me yearly from the West Coast, so they came in, so took some time off just to spend the week with them. But it is much appreciated, you guys taking
You
over.
have friends?
Yeah, believe it or not, outside of this cast, I do know some other people.
Ooh. I don't know that you have friends inside this cast.
Damn,
but-
that's rough. That's rough.
Oh,
Um,
savage.
I'm gonna need people. Well, let's see. We got
Listen, if I would have known this is what was going to happen to Brad, I would have wished for this to happen a long time ago.
Brad, can you feel worse more often?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again. Like I said, this is going to be the Logan cast. So going into news and announcements, clearly we had his card revealed for us. We don't know anything about the tactics cards. We got it. Did we get it at the start of this week, or it was last week, wasn't it, when we got it? Like late
It was
last week?
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get a card this week.
So I was surprised that we didn't get Sabretooth. I thought maybe they would kind of follow suit for that. It seems like they, as far as like stuff that they've been announcing, a lot of it has actually been in reference to Legion. I know that they're dropping a bunch of qualifiers for like Worlds. And I think that they were actually, one of their posts was about LVO. So it's really cool that they are kind of stepping up and they're really trying to. I know before AMG picked up Legion, the Legion people were very much in tune with the competitive scene. They were constantly talking about it and talking about tournaments, and they really did a good job with it. And it's nice to see that AMG is trying to, take up that mantle and reinforce what was already laid before them. So props to them for trying to keep up with it. But other than that, like I said, we have the Wolverine card. There are some rumors that we have heard about that AMG is going. They're going to drop some big news for MCP this month. So we are recording this on November 3rd. So hopefully at some point there's going to be some big reveal. I think it's typically like every November, right, that they've been announcing big stuff.
I mean, if by every November you mean last November.
Yeah.
I also
that's
want to
right.
make it very clear that I heard this on a podcast that was talking about hearing it on other podcasts. So we're like 3 steps down the line of this information.
It's through the
And we're
grapevine, but
spreading it.
yeah, we're spreading it around. Yeah, we're a super spreader. Yeah, that's the word on the street. So, and I think
This is
Brandon.
why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I know. I think you said earlier that they don't have anything. There's nothing announced for release this month,
There's
right?
there's nothing that's going to be available for purchase, like nothing new coming out in November.
So hopefully it's something really cool, really major. Maybe it'll
Maybe
be.
it's Wolverine and Cyclops buffs.
Maybe it's
And a
Apocalypse.
Malekith nerf.
Maybe it's Apocalypse.
Whoa!
What about that?
I don't think Malekith needs a nerf.
I was talking to a buddy at work today because he was asking me questions about MCP, and I actually brought up, like he was talking about characters if they were in the game or not yet, and I actually brought up how I was looking forward to Apocalypse and kind of what we had talked about before, how we think it'll be like Apocalypse, and then all
Or
the
horsemen.
the 2 boxes that'll each have 2 horsemen in it a piece. He was asking about Doctor Doom, and I was going to ask you guys, what do you think the chances are that we see something similar to like that or the Black Order release where maybe it's Fantastic Four and there are 2 boxes each with 2 Fantastic Four members, and then along with that release you get a Doom box by himself that has maybe like an ultimate
Uh,
counter or something.
if you're asking whether or not we think that's going to happen, I believe that is 100% yes, it's going to happen.
You think so?
Those are some of the biggest characters that are Marvel specific that
I
have
have
not.
I have a very specific um, prediction.
Okay.
I think it'll be announced at Mini Extravaganza next summer and come out November, December of next year.
Oh, okay. We're gonna keep that marked. The Logan episode. This is when he called it, so we can reference that if you're correct.
It would be the 4-year anniversary of the game.
He's been saying that for like a year and a half now. So he's been sticking
It's
to
the-
that hard.
It's the
It's
4th
been
anniversary.
like 4 years.
It might actually come out in October instead of November, December, because the game technically came out in October. Well, was
Worst thing is
supposed to.
that Doom
Was
box might
supposed
be like $100.
I mean, probably, but maybe he'll have bots like you were talking about. So it'll be him plus some bots,
I
plus
have
some
no
terrain, plus an ultimate counter.
Oh god, it's
Train and an ultimate encounter would be cool.
I'd be fine with
It's
Train.
been
I don't want him to
fantastic
have.
4 years.
I do not want him to have grunts.
It won't be grunts. I think it'll be more like. I think that'd be cool if he had just like individual, like it's like the Sentinels. Like you have Big Doom, and then you have like the Doom bots that you can pay extra threat for. That would be cool. But I don't know. We'll see.
Don't disagree.
On other news, there is going to be a tournament in Charleston, West Virginia. That's going to be on Saturday, November 19th. Registration, well, you'll be able to sign up on Longshanks, but we usually try to get there about 11, and then we usually roll dice about 12. So, yeah, we always have a painting competition. You can submit a model.
And we don't always have a painting competition.
Where we're going to from here on out, right? We're going to keep that going. Yeah, painting competition.
It depends on how many people are there.
Nah, we're gonna have one. Don't worry. Even if you just show up and it's just you, just one guy, you're gonna win.
You pay $5, we'll give you your $5 back for your paint.
There you go. But if you want any other tournaments plugged in for you, please feel free to email us at crithitwild@gmail.com, or if you can find me, my name is Sev in any of the TTS Discords, like Danger Room, the actual TTS Discord, Alfredo's. If you have a tournament, feel free to message me and we will plug it. So, other than that, I think we're good to move on to Cerebro announcements.
There is something.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there are cards.
Jesus, one at a time.
Jared, we have to talk about how I'm going to take Brace for Impact out of my card holder and put it in my book and never get it out again.
Oh, yeah, because of the art. That sweet, sweet art. I guess I could. What's CP?
Up in the top right.
Yeah, no, I know that. Which pack is it?
No, just hit the top right button.
Top right filter.
Show
new. Whoa. Here we go.
There you go.
Look at that. Looking at it. So we're using CerebroMCP.com, clearly, as we do every cast. So if you're not using it, what the hell are you doing with your life? Look how easy that was for me to filter to these new tactics cards that have just been spoiled this week. So you guys
I know Musil Marvel uses Cerebro.
Yeah, that's good for them.
They mention it every episode.
Yeah, so I guess we can take a quick look at these. Is this what you were talking about, Fred?
Yeah, the new things from Pyro and the Blob.
Okay, so one of the cards is Brace for Impact, except it now has mutant art on it. It's got Blob and who else is on there?
I don't remember. Blob's the one getting hit.
Yeah, he's the big
He's
one.
the
So
one bracing.
yeah,
Did he
so
change the
It
brace
looks
for
like just
impact
a big
art?
car.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's just a
He
big
did
car.
not. I'm proud of him for not changing the brace for impact art on the page.
all right, well, let's take a look at Leapfrog. So we have Leapfrog, which I actually really like this art. I think it looks like super cool. But Leapfrog, it is unaffiliated. It is reactive. After an allied toad deals damage with an attack, an allied, the blob, and toad may each spend 1 power to play this card. The blob may advance short and make a strike attack. So uh, it's interesting. It's really cheap. I don't know that you might take this over like a 5, but maybe if you're like getting locked into like demons or something, it could be cute. I don't know, because Toad could probably deal damage if it's demons, and then it's just one, then Blob can go and strike. So I don't know. I mean, it's a fun card. What do you guys think?
I think it's good. It's if you there are worlds that exist where you're bringing both these people pretty regularly, and it's a free move and a free attack with Blob, which is not bad. It's pretty cute.
You play Brotherhood the most, Brad. Are you gonna be taking this?
No.
No.
There are better cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad card. It's just you only get 5. Like,
Yeah.
unless that changes.
Ooh.
Also, Brandon,
I hope it doesn't change.
The new brace for impact is tempting me to put all the card arts on there for the different cards.
I figured it was.
Yeah, it's tempting. Like, put the art side. All the different versions.
That'd be pretty cool.
It's tempting.
What do you think, Brandon? You like Leapfrog or no?
I actually do like it. Like I said, when we've talked about Blob and when we talked about Pyro, I'm real high on a real wide Mystique list, and I think this could find a room in the 10 and occasionally in your 5. The extra advance and free attack on Blob seems really good. It's got a really low um, cost of entry. I can see why you want it. It might not be the best, but I think it's definitely something I would test.
That's something. Do you think that in Wide Mystique, so if you're just playing pure Wide Mystique, Brad, do you think that you're as like strict on your 5 cards? I know if you like play Magneto,
you'd still want your 2 restricted cards.
Yeah.
Deception. Asteroid M. And then after that, I'd rather have the other card in this pack. Probably.
Do you think you're still playing Asteroid M and Wide Mystique?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's just got too much utility.
That's fair. All right, let's
The
take a
only
look.
thing with it is the so that I do think it's odd. Like I think about that all the time because if you're playing Wide Mystique, you're gonna play a lot of, especially extracts that you can hold many of, and you might not be able to play Asteroid M as often as you can because you can't hold an objective token with it. I think that's something people don't always think about because with Magneto, you're trying to play those slower games, where I think with Mystique, you're going to be kind of trying to play those heavier games. So I don't know if Asteroid M is always going to be an auto include like it used to be. Similar to All According to Plan. I don't think it's necessarily right to always play All According to Plan anymore.
I think I'm actually more in your camp about not taking Asteroid M and like Wide Mystique, but I don't know. We'll see. So let's take a look at Pyrotechnics. So this is unaffiliated. It's active. Pyro may spend X amount of power to play this card. For each power spent, choose an enemy character with the Incinerate special condition and within 3 of Pyro. Each chosen character drops 1 objective token it is holding and is pushed short away from Pyro. So, pretty spectacular card. I like it a lot. Does this change what you guys... Does this change what your rating was for Pyro, now having access to this card?
I'll chime
Good
in.
question.
Yeah, you lead off, Brandon. Go ahead.
Because I do. One of the things I talked about with Pyro is I didn't know how much he would be splashed. This card I think changes that pretty drastically. and the same thing we talked about with Malekith, just the ability to push people, a lot of people, up to 8 people if you wanted to, 10 people if you wanted to. And if you're playing against somebody who's playing 10 wide, that's a whole other thing that's happening. But
They're cheating.
you can play 10-2s.
Are there 10
I don't
twos?
think there are 10
I
twos.
don't think. I think there are 9-2s. So
One day.
one day we'll get there sooner than later. Anyway, I think it does. I think just because I mentioned that with Malekith, just being able to have that card that just can like push everybody, and then this one just throws on that. Oh yeah, they're gonna drop whatever they're holding.
I mean,
Especially
this is like a more
especially if you're-
balanced Midnight Phantasmagoria. I mean,
Yeah,
like
and
there's
if
a
you're-
little bit more stipulations behind it, but it's such a strong effect.
Yeah, because like it's one of those things too. If you're playing wide now, you can if you have say one activation even afterwards. Now you can go clean up what people drop. Like yeah, I think this card's really good. I think I would. Oh man, I'm gonna go. I think this card really
Do
puts
it.
him in that like B plus A
Do it.
minus range.
Okay. You seem excited, Fred. Let's hear what you have to think about it.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is great. This definitely pumps him up into the strong A category. I mean, it's unaffiliated, so anyone can bring Pyro and have this effect. And this is really strong. This
Yeah.
is imagine if you've they don't just drop. Wait, do they drop just one?
They drop one, yes.
Drop one objective token. So never mind what I was about to say, but it's still great. And if Pyro's in your list, they're gonna be incinerated. So I mean, this is a fantastic card.
What do you think, Brad? You think this is an auto include card when you take Pyro?
Pretty close to it. It lets you play both sides of the scenario because it's obviously people notice right away that drop the objective token, but the push also helps on secures.
Yep.
Whether it's a pay to flip or just the secure. It's just a really good card. The big thing about like the way I grade is I don't put a model that isn't going to get B splashed in the A range. I think this puts him in the A range.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just say what I said. It's fine.
Well, you had the benefit of going first, unfortunately.
The funnest thing about this is this card would have changed the list that I would have recommended you play Pyro in.
The Criminal Syndicate.
No, it would have been Two Midnight Suns because the world with him and Ghost Rider just seems.
Yeah, that probably would be.
I
pretty good.
also want to point out that knowing this card would have changed the list I recommended Pyro in to something that different. I think I would have put him in Midnight Suns.
Okay, that's cool.
I'd also like to say that no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good card. Both of these cards, like Leapfrog,
There's also a Fire Shark on there. So
yeah, that's true.
There is a Fire Shark.
Leapfrog is pretty fun. Pyrotechnics is a very strong card. It's just got lots of really good effects. So all in all, like that looks like it's like a pretty good box to buy. I think if you're playing Brotherhood,
Two
it's
splashable characters.
yeah. I think it's
a really good art, a really good card for a restricted card that you probably want in your list.
Yeah. Yeah. I like both those models. It makes me want to try to play Brotherhood, even though I'm like, for whatever reason, I'm not very good at playing Brotherhood. I just probably need to play him more, but it makes me want to play him. So.
Hey Jared.
Yeah.
Before we move on, what's your grade for Pyro, real quick? Because you weren't on the last one.
So I think that he was
One sentence.
he's A minus.
Okay.
I think that he's A minus, and I think that Blob is A.
Fair.
I like both of them.
Were you not on the Blob podcast?
I miss Blob
No,
and
he
Pyro.
Did you come back for Human Torch?
Well, I came back. I came back for a weekly chat with you guys. That's what I came back for. I
But
came
it
back-
happened to be. It did.
I came back for you in the audience. I did not come back for Jim Hammond. Brandon. Okay.
Can we
I
also
remember
point
this
out-
now. I'm sorry.
Hey, can we also point out that Pyrotechnics as a card just makes Pyro eat even more of Jim Hammond's lunch?
Yeah, like when you compare him and Human Torch, like I like Human Torch in Shield a lot. Like I think in Shield he does fine, but I think that Pyro is just like all around. Like I just like Pyro much better. Like I think that he's a superior 3 threat. So
Absolutely.
yeah, he's very
This
good.
might be. Ooh, I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. I think this might be the best box they've put out
Ever?
Ooh.
ever.
Ooh.
There's been. I think that it's definitely
Two
top.
character box. Yeah, a 2 character
Okay, I
box.
was gonna say, was Malekith not better?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 character box. Sorry, I do want to because all the single characters are yeah.
Let me
All
But
of
this,
them?
go
but
through
here's
the
another
kits.
statement because I think I think that I would maybe go on record that the 2 best boxes are both Brotherhood boxes.
Magneto
The other
Toad.
one, Magneto
Yeah,
Toad.
yeah.
You're probably like that's yeah. Like I think the Brotherhood, just like just point for point, is probably outside of maybe like Avengers is like the most well. I think Avengers and Brotherhood are the most well designed and have like just the best models. Not like not necessarily like in the game, just when you like look for like an affiliate like at an affiliation as a whole. I just think that they have both done those 2 affiliations so well and they're so well internally balanced that I don't I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say, I guess, but I just think that those 2 affiliations are the best well done. I think I'll just say that. So all the models are good. So
Yell at me in the comments on if you think there's a pack better than this two.
I'll go through the
'Cause
packs. Like I definitely think it's top tier. Like I think that there is like packs that like you kind of get one good model that you want, and then you kind of get like something maybe not as great. There are packs that like
The Miles Gwyn box is pretty good.
yeah, that's pretty top tier. Like there are some that like you flesh out for like because you want the affiliation. So like it's not a bad box. You just want it because you want to play the affiliation. But I think that as far as just like how much you're going to get out of like the box, as far as like you can splash the characters and you can play them in affiliation and they're just good pieces, I think that you are correct. But this is one of the best. It might be the best, but
yeah, I think those are the best two, and I think Miles Gwyn and then Voodoo Hood are that like fighting on that third spot.
yeah. Oh, you forgot about Cassandra Nova and Jean Grey.
Ah, damn, fuck. All right, I did forget all about it.
All right. I think that's all for the news. Unless I missed anything else, I think that we're good there. So let's go on to Cerebro. So what did you want to show us, Brad?
Oh yeah. No updates this week, unfortunately. I've been painting models, not working on the site. So I want to highlight a section that often gets overlooked. In fact, I need to remember that one of the things in there is in there so that I go there instead of having to go through the PDF rulebook. But if you would, Jared, click on the resources section.
And if you're listening on your favorite podcast site, sucks to suck, watch YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube.
I'm just kidding.
We're going
you
through
can watch
here.
the YouTube, or you can go there yourself and look at these things.
Yep.
So the first thing that pops up is all the conditions, what their tokens look like, and what the effects are. This I use all the time when I don't remember what Judgment does exactly, because the wording's important. I'll go here and look it up. On the next tab is the crisis setup, and I have these memorized except A, so I never use this, but it is very useful. You can also click on a crisis, and these are one of the pages you can look at for the crisis, but they're all right here.
Very handy.
I bought a mat with those circled, so I didn't have to ever look at it again.
Yeah, the mat is nice. All right, the next thing, timing charts. This is the thing that I wish I remembered that I put on here, so I didn't have to go to the appendix in the rulebook PDF. It's just the timing charts from the back of the book that tell you exactly when things happen in each phase.
Yep, and this is so much easier to get to than figuring out exactly like where it is on the rulebook online.
Yeah, and I
So
keep going to the rule book, so I need to remember that this is here. And I put this in a while ago, and I just forgot about it.
this is the most like all these are good, but this one right here, the attack
Oh
action
yeah,
timing chart, like this is
when
where the most
when it
questions come up.
matters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is when it comes up the most. So yeah, so 2 clicks if you're on Cerebro. You just open it up on your phone, resources, timing charts, and that makes
And
that super easy. So
and then it on the last. This is a couple links to outside stuff. So there's a link to the rules page, a link to the organized play link, and that's where they have all their PDFs. The tournament sheet I made and never used. And then thanks to Les Smartnick, the token sheet. So Jared, will you click on that token sheet?
yep.
So he keeps this updated, and I always put the latest copy on there. But it's every token in the game and what it is used for.
Very impressive. I think this is how I learned. Yep, right there. I was like, what is this? And I never knew it was binary for Captain Marvel.
It's
I
the
learned
binary
that,
form.
yeah, I learned that a while back. So
Yeah, every time Les buys new boxes, he updates the sheet, tags me on Facebook, and then I update Cerebro.
you would think like when you look at it like this, you're like, that's not too many tokens. But whenever you actually look at it in your box, it's
Wow.
it's crazy to look at.
He's missing a day's token.
He probably doesn't have whatever box that day's token comes in yet. The red one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what box it was, to be honest.
He either doesn't have it or it looks so much like the red and orange one, I don't think it matters.
Yep. So thank you for that rundown, Brad. I just want to give a quick shout out. Again, Brad has a Patreon on Cerebro. He has different levels you can donate, but the big spenders who give $5 a month, just give them a shout out. Rusty, Brian, Dojo DC, Jorn Goen, KPI, Glance 90, Ghost Bear, Drunk Poet, Mrs. Doubtfire, Atules, X-Men 714, XM Clark, and Ronan Around. Thank you guys.
And Sage.
Oh, and Sage.
Yeah, I updated it today to add Sage. We are also just under 3/4 of the way to the $100 goal to add it to the Apple and Google Play stores.
So, just
the low price of $19.99 a month.
No, it'll be free on there.
Yeah, just $1 a month, guys. That's you cheap bastards. Just do it for Brad.
Or if you want your name on the website, $5 a month.
$5. I'll give you a shout out.
What name is that? Just in case people are curious and don't want like their real name, is that like? Do they choose that name, or is that like how they pay?
Yeah, when you're a $5 person, I send you a message thanking you and asking you how you want to be credited.
I think he also sends a nude.
Oh,
I do not do that.
Oh,
and
damn.
So, and I always put whatever they tell me to put.
Whatever they tell you to put?
Well, within reason.
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm just gonna put Brandon if you sign up. I'm not even gonna
ask. I'll do it from an account you will know to me.
All right. Well, I think that we're ready to move on to Longshanks. So I believe for this, we are going over to look at the results of Second Wind. So take it away, Brad.
Okay, so this is a cool feature that relates to Cerebro, and I want to point some stuff out. So when you submit a list, you can submit the coded thing that works in TTS, and also you can import lists into Cerebro with. And if you click on Nate Horn's list there, he did this, and you can see down at the bottom it says this player entered a coded list. And you can, I asked Sam for this. You can hit the copy to clipboard and it copies the numbers. So I play X-Men, so I went to this list and I hit copy, and then I pasted it into the import in Cerebro, and now I have his list if I want to play it. But that's not actually why I wanted to be here. That's just a side thing. So if you'll close that little window and scroll to the bottom. So if you look at list data, you see list data right in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
This tells you everything about the event from coded lists. So if everyone put in a coded list, we'd have a complete breakdown of the event. We see how many times models are played, tactics cards are played, crisis cards, not played, but like are in lists. So we can see here the most popular character is Black Cat. The most popular team tactics card is Brace for Impact. And the most popular crisis card is Fear Grips. And nobody's surprised by any of those.
Yep, all those are pretty standard, I think.
Water's wet, grass is green, sky is blue.
Recalibration
Yeah.
matrix being this high is actually it's
Yeah,
surprising to me.
it's picked up in popularity since they
The-
banned a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Look, mission objective. It's like people actually can read it.
Shut up. We're not talking about that. But if everyone starts using these coded lists and a symbol could export the coded lists, but I think he stopped working on that, and I'm not sure about the other apps. But if they export the coded list, please use them or use an app that does do the coded list.
If I copy it to clipboard, and can I just plug that straight into TTS?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You plug in a TTS or Cerebro. Let's show them where on Cerebro. If you'll go back to it real quick.
Yeah, let me
So
copy.
if you're watching this,
let me do
yeah.
this really quick. So list, copy to clipboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you go to build,
Mhm.
and then the top right next to the plus button is an import button. So click that, and then paste it, and hit OK.
There we
and
go.
It creates the list. That's his complete list.
That is so handy and very cool. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Can we talk about the lack of lists that Jared has?
Oh,
He does not have very many lists, does he?
no, these are the lists. I try to keep myself in a little pocket and stay there. And if I like make too many lists, I'll get too excited about too many things because I already have like faction hop syndrome. So if I make like too many, I won't be able to like focus. So
I do remember the time where we were gonna each dedicate ourselves to Criminal Syndicate, and then you played one game.
yeah, I apologize, Brandon. What do you want to play with me? We'll figure that out at the end of the cast.
On the flip side of Jared, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lists for X-Men lists in mine. Just X-Men. That's also an X-Men list, so that's 5. On top of everything else.
Fred, you're not watching my screen, are you? Probably not.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of trivia.
No.
From Second Wind, we know that Black Cat was the top taken character from coded lists, and she was taken by 18 players. Who do you think the second most taken model was?
Oh god, I'm so bad at this. This is not fair. Okay, who do I think the second most taken at Second Wind is gonna be?
Can I give him a hint?
Well,
yeah, give me a hint. How about a hint?
Well,
There's
here,
a lot of characters.
We'll do this instead. I'm gonna give you. So you already know about the Black Cat. So I'll give you the next highest 4 models on the list, and I want to see if you can put them in order. We'll do that instead. How about that?
Okay.
So the next highest models. Oh well, I can't do that because they were all taken. They were all taken. They were all tied. I can't.
One.
I can't do that. Oh no.
How about this? How about we do this? How about I ask? We'll do 5 questions,
Okay.
and I'll see if I can narrow it down. My question number 1: is it a character that has a leadership?
No.
Well.
No.
No.
The answer's no.
No.
What are you giving it? No. The answer's no.
He's guessing number 2.
He's guessing number 2. Yeah. No. We'll say no.
Okay.
It's not we'll say. The answer is no.
What? But we'll get to it in a second.
Jared,
This is a shit show.
The answer's no.
No.
I know what you were thinking. The answer is no.
No.
Gee, is I don't even know what my second question would be. Here is who I think it is.
How about a hint? You own this model.
Yeah. Is it Bullseye?
Oh, that was actually super close. He is the third rank down.
Okay.
Tied with two
Uh,
other people.
Then
He's
if it's not,
he's a fourth threat. I'll give you that.
if it's not, oh, damn it! I was gonna say Winter Soldier then, but if it's a
Who
fourth
is
threat,
who is tied with Bullseye?
That is
at
true.
number
He
3.
he is the fifth one down. You're actually knocking out the most taken characters. Yeah.
okay, and so it's a fourth threat.
Fourth threat. Second highest
Yeah.
taken.
Think about it. He was with you yesterday.
Oh boy.
But you did not play him yesterday?
You did not play him yesterday.
Is it Killmonger?
Oh, come on. What?
No.
No. Think about
That's
it.
a bad guess.
Yeah. I'm blanking hard on this
Is-
now.
You have him. He is not built.
Oh, it's Doctor Voodoo.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's Doctor Voodoo.
God, I'm gonna get better at that. That was that was an unplanned segment that we just did, but that would have been so much fun if these bastards weren't all 10 players took them. That was awful. I didn't realize till after I said it.
Ironically, fun fact is the second through fourth are a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 6. No 5s.
Fred, can you name that 6-cost character? It's the only one from the top 5 you're missing.
It's true.
Hawk.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. You nailed all of the top characters taken.
Okay.
That's great.
Doctor Voodoo. Heckin' Doctor Voodoo.
His second highest taken.
Okay,
Man,
Fred,
14
I've
players.
got a quiz for you now. Can
Oh
you
no.
name the 10th most taken Team Tactics card?
The 10th most taken? What are you doing to me?
I'm
what
just
is
kidding.
this game?
Okay,
Hold on.
Fred. Let's go with a different one. Can you? So, Hammers was the highest taken Crisis card. What was the number one taken Secure? Because it's an extract.
It's your
Secure.
favorite. Maybe your favorite? I could
Is
be
it
wrong.
Gamma?
Second favorite.
Was it Gamma?
No.
No.
Oh,
It's actually there's a 3-way tie, so this should be really easy for you to get.
is it Demons Downtown?
There, that's
It
the
is.
highest one that shows on Longshanks, yeah.
I hate Demons Downtown.
Demons,
For the
Demons
record.
Infinity, and Riot Spark. Were
I
all
couldn't
three
remember if you
players.
liked it or hated it, and I threw a dart in the
Look at that. You gave him bad information.
I did. I'm sorry.
Well,
You know what
can
pisses
I
me
be
off
honest?
about that is that the second most played tactics or fucking team
Can I-
secure
hey,
extract
Crisis
is
card.
stupid
But
ass.
the way you
spider
said it,
infected.
I took it as you were being highly sarcastic.
Oh, then it
Oh.
worked out perfectly.
So yeah,
This is not a bad spread when you look at the top 10 from second wins. Like 2 X-Men, 3 Avengers, I guess. A Winter Guard came in 9th. You have Convocation coming in 10th. Web Warriors at 8th. Shield coming in 6th. Cabal coming in 3rd. So it's not a bad spread. All right. Well, with that, I have a weekly topic I want to discuss with you guys, and what I want to ask you guys this week is with what you're currently playing now, what do you think is your most favored point value in the game? So with what you're playing, what do you value the most to play at? So threat level. So I'll give you a second to think about it, Brad, since you got hit with a new. Brandon, why don't you lead us off? What is your most
Me?
valued?
Oh,
Yeah,
God. Probably 20.
20. Why is that?
Well, the list I play the most is Criminal Syndicate. If anyone who's ever listened to this wanted to take a stab in the dark and guess on what that was. And I think it's mostly because Alien Ship, Superpower Scoundrels, and Terrigen Clouds are 3 of the best anything you can play, Crisis you can play with Criminal Syndicate, in my opinion. And they all happen to be 20 points. Ironically, they are all 3 played drastically different. Um, like I normally don't play. I'm not going to play the same list most likely on like Alien Ship as I play on like Superpower Scoundrels, um, or even Terrigen Clouds probably. Terrigen Clouds is probably yeah. I think all three of those are probably pretty drastically different lists that I would play on. So I think 20 ends up being it kind of de facto. I think outside of that, I really like playing 16.
Okay. I assume because of researcher.
No, not even. I just like 16. I like 16 allows me to play Kingpin, Shadowland, Daredevil, and then a combination of Black Cat, Lizard, Hood, Blob, Winter Soldier. So two of those, and then Bullseye. And I think that's a really strong 16.
Okay. What about you, Fred? What point value do you
Uh,
value the most right now?
so that raises the question. If you had asked me before yesterday, I would have probably said 19 or 20. If you had asked me before yesterday,
Mhm.
but I one really need to retool what I'm doing, and two, I want to say probably 15. I want to say on the lower end of the spectrum.
Okay.
Uh, 14 I think is even a little low for me, but 15 is right about where I want to be. I want to limit the big boys that my opponent can play, and I want to maximize my 3-pointers.
Okay. That makes sense to me. What about you, Brad?
18.
Why is
18.
why is that?
That's when I can fit Rogue in.
Okay.
I'm
That's
fine with
Christ.
I am fine with 17. Like I just play 3-pointers and Toad.
hmm
But 18 I can turn a 3-pointer into Rogue. And that's where it really
I want to change
really
my answer to
fits.
16.
It's too late, bro. You locked in.
No, I want to. I want to lock in. I want to lock in a different number.
All right. Well, I think that for me it's probably 18 as well. I like it just because I think it makes some people's rosters kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
you see a lot
Because
of
people
people.
plan for 17.
Yeah, like there's a lot of playing for like 17, and then people can get good stuff at like 19, 20. But I feel like 18 is like the weirdest one. So I actually typically will try to plan my list around 18. And
17 and 18 are probably the most awkward for me.
for you,
Yeah.
17 is the most common. You realize that, right?
Oh, I do. I know. I mean, I have a plan at 17. It's just the big thing is just like where it's the most common. It's also by far the most versatile. Uh, but again, like I love that 16 threat list, and upgrading Bullseye to another three is just kind of meh to me because Bullseye feels very valuable. So it's kind of like, or upgrading. You never. I mean, if you're playing like, it just feels like every time I upgrade one of those characters like 1 point, and that 16-point list, it never feels as good for whatever reason.
all right. Well, you're talking about if I had asked you before yesterday, Fred. I know you played a couple games. One of them, which was with Brandon. You want to give us a quick rundown of your games that you played?
Yeah, sure. Here's the quick rundown. I got my ass handed to me twice. Pretty quick run. Okay, so my first game was against Borka, and we were playing at 20 points. I think it was the full 20. I'm pretty sure it was. And he brought Thanos, and Thanos was able to drag. I was a little bit too forward with Red Skull, and he dragged Red Skull up, dazed him round 1, and then KO'd him before I could activate him round 2. And the rest of the game did not go well for me. He had a very effective activation with Rocket Raccoon, where he did the dynamic duo. I think that's what the card is called,
Deadly
and did a
Duo.
ton deadly duo,
Yeah.
and did a ton of damage. And I was just like, well, this I had gotten pretty far ahead on objective points, but I was so down on attrition that it was a done deal. But the second game I played was against Brandon, and Brandon was playing a wide kingpin list, and it was on Superpowered Scoundrels. And I was playing a much thinner Malekith list. And that was a bad mistake on my part. I should have gone wide to counter. And he just got ahead on point. I was winning the attrition, but he got way ahead on points way quick and
Yep.
finished the game round 3. So
I told
it
him I was
was
going to do that.
yeah. It was two very bad games for me.
That sucks. Congratulations though on your win, Brandon. I think that since you started playing again, you've been doing pretty well for yourself, right?
Yeah. I'm 6-0 since I came back in.
Look at that.
Actually,
You and
Yeah,
Borka are
he's-
gonna have to have the ultimate
I don't
showdown.
want to
'Cause
play him.
you're
Dude. I don't
6-0,
wanna...
and he's like 13 or 14-0 or something stupid
But
at this
I'm
point.
like all time. I'm like, I don't even. I think I'm 1 in like 24 against him all time. Like it's not
You
not
gotta-
good. I don't want anything to do with it. I
you
don't want
gotta-
anything to do with it.
You gotta get out of your head, man. You gotta just get in there and get it. That's how you're gonna get better. You gotta take the L's
Yeah.
to get better.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to take a while. Yeah, the only thing I really have to say about the game was I told Fred at the beginning that he said I think this is my plan is with Malekith. I said my plan is to win on turn 3.
Yep.
and he succeeded in doing that.
That's the
And I
thing with
didn't.
CS.
And to be fair, I don't think there was a world I won that. Like, if it wasn't set up for me to win on the 3rd round, I don't think there's a situation where I win that game. Like, I think that
Yeah.
was how I win that game. If I wasn't in that spot that I was after 2, I don't think I win that game.
We were getting to the point where the attrition was going to turn hard in my favor. And but I mean, there was no way you were not going to get the points.
Yeah.
It was a 10-point. It was not hammers, cubes, and there was 10 available points every turn.
That's
You
And
what
I
got
was
7 in the first round, I think.
Yeah, and I was a character extra.
Yeah.
It was just a tough matchup.
That's the thing with CS. If they get ahead like early in the round by like 3 or 4, like it's done. Like
Yeah, and
it's really
like
hard.
where he was killing characters, I was able to all according to plan. Going into turn 3, so it was.
Yeah.
It was a bad situation for Fred. I think it was just a bad matchup. We talked about it. I think he knew there was a better situation he could have presented, and we.
Oh, yeah. I shouldn't have brought Malekith.
Yeah, I think he plays Red
and-
Skull Bullseye. It's a completely different situation.
Yeah.
I don't think that I might not have played a game since like we ended up not going to second win because I was like I need to practice and then work prevented me from like going to the shop.
I don't think you've played since I started playing again.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Like I need to get back in it. I haven't played in so long. I'm probably rusty, get my ass kicked a bunch. All right, well, I think with that we can move on to the character review if you guys are ready. So let's look at Logan the Wolverine, aka James Logan Howlett. He is 4 physical, 4 energy, 2 mystic defense. He is 6 stamina. He is 4 threat. He is size 2, and he's a medium mover. He has 2 attacks. He has X Slash, which is range 3, and it's a 5 dice standard builder. After this attack is resolved, you place this character within 1 of the target characters, so there is no choice there. You must do it. And he also has Wild Pierce, so just change one of the defending characters' crit wilds or blocks to a blank. He has the physical attack Tornado Claw. It is a beam 3. It is 7 dice, and it is 4 power. After all attacks generated by this attack have been resolved, place this character within 1 of the last character targeted by this attack. So, again, you have to place within 1, but you get some say in which character it is, so that's pretty cool, I guess, because you get to determine your attack order. It has Wild Pierce and Wild Bleed. He has a bunch of passive superpowers and then just 1 active. So his active is What I Do Isn't Very Nice. It is 3 power cost. It is an action. This character immediately makes an X slash attack action. After the attack is resolved, if the target character is size 3 or less, this character may throw the target character short. Superpower may only be used once per turn. He has Adamantium Skeleton, so when determining whether this character can be thrown or pushed by an effect or special rule, or when colliding with another character or a terrain feature, he counts as size 3. He has Get Out of My Head. The first time this character is damaged by a mystic attack each turn. After the attack is resolved, other allied characters within 3 of this character suffer 1 damage. characters that suffer 1 damage this way gain power. Gain 1 power, excuse me. He has On the Hunt when this character makes an attack action. If there are no allied characters within 3 of it, this character may reroll up to 2 of its attack dice. And then finally, he has Healing Factor 2 and Immunity Stun. On his injured side, he has no changes. So, yeah, Logan the Wolverine. What do you guys think? We'll start with you, Brad, since you're our mutant guy.
For being a new character, there is a lot that he shares with the other Wolverine. Like, sure, his X/slash is different than his old builder, but if you what I do isn't very nice, it is basically his old spender. He kept Immunity Stun. He kept Healing Factor 2. He kept the Adamantium Skeleton, of course. But the big thing is he doesn't want to be near his allies. You get rerolls and then they don't take damage from Mystic attacks if he's not near them. And it's just so hard to do that in this game. I do like that he can still contest on the back, though. Like, pick up the extract tokens. He can't do that. His other version can't do that. I'm going to try this guy out, but, like, I was excited to be excited about a new Wolverine, and I'm just not very.
Okay. What do you think, Fred?
I think that there's a lot on this card to be interested in. I am 50-50 on the place effects because they're not May. And that basically means that he cannot make an attack without being placed within one of the target. Or the last target, I should clarify. You can get him if you do the what I do is not very nice. You can trigger that after you throw them, right? Is that correct? Like, you can throw them and then place yourself, so you could be pretty far away.
That is correct. You can choose. So you make the attack, and then after it's resolved, you throw. So you could either place and then throw them, or you could throw them and then place.
Yeah. So you could be really far from where you started.
Yep.
If you do this the way you most want to. He's a character whose job is to get out there and disrupt your opponent. Force them to remove him, or he's just going to be causing trouble behind them the entire time. I don't know if that's very good, because like Brad said, it means that you want to be alone. And that tends to make you dead in this game. And he only has 12 stamina total. He's tough. He's got pretty good defensive stats. I'm a little bit tepid. I'm a little bit tepid on him.
Okay.
I guess that's it.
What about you, Brandon? What you got?
God, if Fred's tepid, what am I gonna do here? So the first time I looked at this card, I thought it was really good because I thought it was a 3-threat character. He's bad, man. It's not good. He wants to be attacking. The placing is affected. I unlike Fred, I actually really like the placing because I think it's a character you can kind of get right back into the. I think the way you play this character is building around, playing him around those places, and getting him from like point to point where needed be. However, I don't think it's good. Like if he was like this would be a good 3-threat character. Not even great. Like I think it would be a good 3-threat character if you don't change anything. I just to get out of my head, that's always there. Yeah, I don't think it's good, man.
Okay.
I just don't think it's good.
Yeah, get out of my head. Can we talk about that? That's a strange. It is almost certainly a negative about it.
Yeah.
Like
It's 100% a negative.
that's a bad effect.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a drawback that did not need to be included on this card because this card did not need a drawback.
I mean, they gain a power, so like it can, I guess. Like I don't
No, but
know. Like
that's like them. It's clarifying that just so that there's no question as to whether they get the power from the damage they take.
yeah.
You could
That-
technically hit someone that's if you hit him with a mystic attack from range 3 and there's a character range 3 away from him at the other complete other direction that only has 1 health left that you're trying to like keep away is now dead.
Yeah. It's
And you
got
didn't do
Yeah.
anything productive and you played Wolverine. Or
He's
you
got-
played
There's
Logan.
no dice involved. It
He's-
just happens.
He's got the synergy with Sin. There you go.
Having synergy with Sin is not a positive.
Just if you're not if people are home are familiar with what Sin does, she has a interesting ability where if she is damaged by an ally effect, she gains a power for it. So
It's the weirdest thing in the world. Why is that on her? But we'll worry about that later.
yeah.
We'll worry about that another time.
But anyways, yeah, like I look at him and I actually think that he's okay. I think I might prefer this version over the other version, because he can interact at all times. I don't hate that like his purpose is to be like a backline, like disruptive murder piece. I think that is something. So like you'll see some like really aggressive lists try to get characters in the back to get to more of like the softer support pieces and stuff like that, and I think that he does that exceptionally well. I think that he's insanely mobile. Even though it is like a range 1 place when like you're placing to maybe not even necessarily get on points, but just to like get to backline people and murder them, I think that he does that very, very well. It's also very hard to keep him off of points because if you're on, let's say, the back left corner of an infinity formula, if you want to stand on a point, he's also going to be on the point with you. Like it's with the range 3 builder, it's very hard to like displace him and then keep him off the point unless he's already activated. So he can get onto your characters pretty well. He sticks to them. He can stay on a point if he wants to. I don't know. Like the place I actually really like. I like going into like an X slash and then getting the perfect place for a tornado claw right after. I think that's really cool. But I think that just what excites me the most about him is probably the on the hunt ability. Like I know Brad said he's worried about keeping ally characters within 3. I don't think it's as hard as. I don't think that it's necessarily like the easiest thing in the world to do, because a lot of the times MCP games can really scrum up in one section of the board. But if you do have something that is on like a B shape, I think that he, or maybe like a D shape, I think that he will actually really shine on those. And on the hunt is a fantastic ability. So just re-rolling 2 of your attack dice every single time that you make an attack, especially when you have like wild pierce on stuff. And if you can get the tornado claw off and do a beam 3 and you're getting 2 re-rolls on every single one of those, like he is a pretty good murder machine. And when you take in healing factor 2, 12 stam, and oh god, this is not the first time I've blanked on this card. Exceptional healing. He actually is very, very sturdy. So I actually don't think that he's bad. I think that he's okay. I think that he is serviceable on certain map setups, and I don't know. Like, we also don't know like where he'll be affiliated. If they do, because the pack is called Weapon X Program. If they come out with a Weapon X affiliation, he might be amazing. So does he fit in right now?
I think he also fits X Force pretty well. I just keep thinking about him in X-Men, and I don't
Yeah.
think he works in
Like
X-Men.
with X-Men, I don't think that he is what you want. I don't think he is what you want
I
at
think
all.
X-Force is fine. They have so many ranged guns that are further than range 3
Yeah.
that he can be out on his own.
Now, do you think this version of this character will be X-Force affiliated? Is that a possibility or no?
It's possible. I would say that if they are pulling him from the time period they're supposed to be pulling him from, according to what they've said, he would not have been in X-Force yet.
Okay.
But
I like
you never
him.
know.
I like this version of this character in X-Force a lot. Like, I think that he is really, really good in X-Force, and they could use a little bit of help, I feel like. So I think he's okay. I think that the jury is a little out once we see tactics cards and once we see if there is going to be a Weapon X affiliation, which could be really, really cool. He could fit in very nice. I think that his kit is good. I think that he does, when it comes to what he's designed to do, which is, again, to get in the backfield, stick on characters, and kill them, I think that he's actually quite good at it. So until I get an affiliation, I think that he might be a little bit of a lower rank, but I think if we get an affiliation and we kind of see what that looks like, I think that it could change what like he could move up higher. But
I
We
just
we
wish
also need to
Tornado
see.
Claw bled. I don't like that there's wilds on both of those. It just, again, everything about him just feels like a 3-threat character because of.
I think that he's got. I think that these rerolls are a real premium, dude. Like the 2 rerolls and then
I don't know how
his
often that's going
adamantine.
to be a thing.
I think that you guys are.
Uh,
It is not hard, I don't
I
think, to keep him out of 3 of an allied character.
But I
I
don't think
don't.
it's hard to kill him if he's out of it. So it's like, it's only attack dice. So, like, I don't think he's going to be hard to kill if he's by himself.
I
I
mean,
agree with Jared that the reroll will be easy to trigger because he's going to be swirling around in the way far away from you pretty early. I mean, I think that what Brandon is saying is also correct, that he's going to get killed.
well,
'Cause,
he
I
can
mean,
get killed
he's got a
anywhere.
lot of-
He can get killed anywhere on the board. Like having allies nearby doesn't do shit for like somebody trying to
it
kill
means
him.
that
Well,
it,
it can distract people. He's not a stand, like, you're not going to put him on the table and be like, I need to take him out. Like, if he's not doing anything, like, a lot of his, like, Tornado Claw requiring 4 power and what I do isn't very nice requiring 3 power. Like, he needs his power. So, like, if you're not attacking him, like, he's gonna have to get close. He gets in the fight, and then it's easy to just kind of pick him apart when he isn't near anyone, when he's not a distraction. So
I think
you
that
can
him
sit on
being
that
in the
point
back,
and
like
kill
if
him.
people are in the back hitting him, again, he's like got 12 stam and exceptional healing. So if he's in the back and they keep people like back on a point to like deal with him, you can score the other points. Like I don't know. I like to see him on the table. I'd like to see what he does. I think that he's a little bit better than you guys give him credit for. But we'll see. But we can go on to ranking and we'll see. We'll start with you, Brandon. What are you going to give him?
C minus.
C minus. All right. What about you, Fred?
I was going to give him a gentleman's C.
Brad?
See,
So I'm actually going to give him a B minus. I think he's a little bit better than what you guys are giving him credit for. But maybe I'm wrong. Let us know in the comments.
I mean, they have been giving lots of good tactics cards recently,
Mhm.
and this is a guy that clearly, I think, quite clearly, is going to have some tactics cards. Like, there's going to be something on a card that makes him better, but it's not there right now. We don't know what it is. So
Yeah, I'm all about
as, as
I'm all about adjusting my score if he's got some pretty sweet tactics cards. I'm just not super, like, if he has like a berserker style, like something like berserker and he can do something crazy, like that'd be really cool. Like, I don't know. I'm I just I'm disappointed. I really wanted a really good like Wolverine, and I feel like we're 0 for 2 so far.
Okay, that's fair enough.
uh,
Do you have anything you want
I'm
to add,
just
Brad?
I'm just double checking to see if any of the current um, cards work with him, and one of them does. Wolverines would work with this guy, but
At least that scenario, you're playing the better version, the better Wolverine, right, Brad?
yeah, but it's Scornergy because they have to be
They have
within
to be near
2 of
each
each
other.
other.
That's awesome. All right. Well, most of the cast a little bit down on the new Wolverine. But again, a lot of things can change when you get an affiliation and some tactics cards and stuff behind them. So I
Good
am.
news.
Oh,
Good news for people who didn't want to spend $100 on this box.
yeah.
It was definitely good news for me to not be even like tempted by it.
watch Sabretooth rock.
He probably will be pretty good. But yeah, I think that I'm actually kind of like a little low on the model. I think that I don't like the model as much, like physically. But
You don't like the nice hat?
uh,
You don't want it?
I don't know. I like him and his costume is a lot cooler to me. But I'm excited for there to be a
Yeah,
Weapon X program. Like that's gonna be pretty cool.
I plan on, as long as my opponent being okay with it, playing the other model, no matter which card I use.
Hey,
I'll
man.
have him,
That's going to
and I'll
confuse
have him
people.
paint, and I'll have him paint it up. And if they're not okay with it, I'll play the correct model. But
Well, I'll be please if you guys are listening, and even if you listen to the audio version, please find this video on YouTube and let us know in the comments what you think about him, what you would rate him. I'm genuinely curious to see what the reception is because I haven't paid attention too much online to the buzz about him. So yeah, let us know, please. We'd love to hear what you guys think about the new Logan. But with that, I think that we can move on to comic book recommendations. So what do you have for us this week, Brad?
oh yes, so Dallas Kemp, the head of sculpting now, I think at AMG, he mentioned that they based this pack on a specific comic, and he said it by name, and I cannot find that video where he said it. But he's talking about how Wolverine is visiting the old Weapon X facility, and he sees the claw mark on the door. And I thought he said, and I remember it happening this way, that he then gets attacked by Sabretooth. Well, I looked, and that didn't happen.
Are you
So
sure? You're positive?
Didn't that happen in one of the movies?
Maybe, and that
I'm
maybe
like
that's
90%.
where
I'm like 90% sure that happened in one of the
that
movies.
might be where I'm getting confused. But like, it seems like this kit, from the comic standpoint, is based on two different like storylines. So I'm going to talk about those two storylines. I wish I could have found where they
He always finds an
announced.
excuse when we talk about mutants to talk about multiple storylines, doesn't
I
he?
always talk about multiple storylines for every character. Anyway,
You messed him up.
I looked all over YouTube for where they announced this pack because I thought it was in the same video where they announced Hydra, but it didn't look like it was. Like, I scrubbed through it and I never saw them. So I don't know. I think Dallas talks about Wolverine Volume 2, Number 10 from 1989. So this is Chris Claremont and John Buscema. And the important part of this is, in a flashback, Logan confronts Sabretooth about killing his girlfriend Silver Fox on Logan's birthday. He confronts him in a bar, and they get in a fight, and they end up outside fighting in the snow. And this has, like, Sabretooth in the jacket. He didn't have a hat on, but he's in a jacket and stuff like that. So I think that's part of where this came from. It's also the origin of the whole Sabretooth hunts down Logan's girlfriend on his birthday every year thing. This was when that first showed up. So that's part of the puzzle.
I'm sorry, I gotta cut in here. So the way that you described that he confronts Sabretooth over Sabretooth killing his girlfriend on his birthday, the way that it sounded so like soft, like he confronts Sabretooth. He just walks up to him in a bar and goes, "Hey, you killed my girlfriend."
I mean, that's how it starts. And then they fight. And Wolverine
How
gets
is
the
it not
shit
like
beat
he
out of
is
him.
fighting him immediately?
I don't know. In comics, people yell at each other a lot. I mean, famously, North Star came out as gay, yelling it in the middle of a fist fight.
All right.
So
Hey, good for him.
they yell a lot. Yeah, saving an AIDS baby. That's okay. Then in Wolverine Volume 2, this Volume 2 lasted from like the late 80s into the early 2000s. It was a very long comics run. It is the Wolverine comics that most people think of. Anyway, 48 and 50 from 1991. This is Larry Hama and Mark Silvestri. And this is where Wolverine goes to the Canadian wilderness. Jubilee's there too. And they find the old Weapon X bunker, and he finds the claw marks on the door and all that stuff. And he starts having flashbacks. And this leads him to fighting against the Department of Agriculture. And
As you do.
yeah, because, I mean, they're the bad guys, right? No, it's the CIA is using the Department of Agriculture as cover for the Weapon X program. And they have this division called the Pest Squad. And it's made up of old Weapon X people and some of the experiments they've done, and they like assassinate people and stuff. Anyway, he ends up going like all over the place, like hunting down his past, and then he starts finding that maybe his memories aren't quite right, especially when Silver Fox, you remember her from the other story? Yeah, she just shows up.
Uh-huh.
She's just there. And
isn't she dead?
she's supposed to be. And him and Sabretooth are both very surprised by this. By the end of the story, Sabretooth does kill her again. Maybe for the first time. He also, Logan also rides a motorcycle onto a helicarrier, which is pretty cool. He like pushes it upstairs to the top of the skyscraper and like rides it over onto the helicarrier, and it's pretty badass. Larry Hama comics, just in general, are great. Wolverine's great. He also did the G.I. Joe comics, which is why G.I. Joe was like as popular as it was. Larry Hama writes page by page. He has no idea where the story's going to go either, so it's a lot of fun to read.
All right. Well, thank you, Brad. Brandon, do you want to give us a list recommendation for Wolverine?
Well, unfortunately, we talked about it a lot in the thing. I think he does fit decently well in X-Force. So that was unfortunately my list, and then everybody kind of hopped on it. I was trying to scramble, but I didn't have much of a scramble, so I failed. I'm sorry.
If he's affiliated.
Yeah.
If he's not, I don't know that you play him there either.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, if you really want to play him, there are a couple places you could probably like sneak him in, but again, it's gonna. I mean, it'd be tough. But I think it's like I said. I think even X-Force, if he's not affiliated, I think there's enough good X-Force characters that you can just pretend he's affiliated, I guess.
But you want to take other people like Baron Zemo before you take him.
Yeah, but if you really want to play him,
I guess.
Some people just really want to play him.
All right, Fred. Well, why don't you take us home with your non sequitur?
Well, the what I brought today is a movie from 1992, and it is the movie Unforgiven. This is a Clint Eastwood movie. It is a Western that sort of upends all of the tropes that Westerns have.
Is this literally just because of the cowboy hat?
Well, I mean, I think that it is an oeuvre. I think that Logan kind of fits this kind of archetype character, the lone. Well, I guess he's not lone in Unforgiven, but the man who shows up in town and stands up against the evil, and people end up dying anyway, and things get much more complicated than simple a simple White Knight storyline. I don't know. This movie's great. It's fantastic, and it's one of the best Western westerns that I've ever seen. And
I think you cut in and out a little bit there, Fred.
We lost you, Fred.
Oh, I have? Oh, no. Oh no. Okay. Well,
Just repeat the last thing
I
you
guess
said.
it has Gene Hackman as the sheriff, who is a bad guy, but also is he? I don't know. He's kind of a bad guy, but it's a movie that you've got to watch. It's a great movie. Go watch it.
All right. Well, thank you, Fred. Well, with that, that'll wrap us up for this week and our Logan episode. So, Brandon, why don't you tell me what you want me to play? I'll play the next 10 games.
What? I mean, what do you want to play?
You know,
What is in
you
your
tell
soul?
you
know
you
what?
tell me. You tell me.
I think you really like Shield. I think you should play Shield.
Next 10 games, Shield. Got it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Well, I guess he's not going to be playing his
I guess I
Sentinels
won't
for
be
a
playing
while.
my Sentinels. Yeah, I have to play Shield. Would you like to
Do
change
you,
your Would you like to change your answer?
do you want to play Sentinels for the
I,
next 10 games?
no, you tell me.
I think you should play Sentinels for the next 10 games.
All right, I will play Sentinels for the next 10 games. So maybe we'll make a quick video and you guys can help me build my Sentinel roster. How about that? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Bye.